Hey Pisces, I hope you're doing well. This is going to be a general reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter placements for the rest of August. Pisces, let's get into it here. Let's see what we got going on for you. Some of you, there might be a task in the rest of August. Maybe this is at work. Something is like assigned to you. You're asked, Pisces, can you handle this? Right? There's something going on there with this where I feel like it's going to show you how much your skills are valued, how much you are valued. There's something about that where I feel like you're just, you know, you're going to kill it here, Pisces, whatever this is. And people are very surprised. And they're showing appreciation towards you here. Let's see what we got. Some of you might fall... Some of you might find a tiny object. There's something with a tiny object here where you might feel like this is significant somehow, but I don't know how. Like, this is cool. You know how sometimes you just like, I don't know, you see little trinkets and they catch your eye. I feel like there's something about that here where you're going to find some kind of connection with an object. It feels important to you. You feel a connection to it. You feel drawn to it. I wouldn't ignore that, Pisces. Let's see what, okay. We got one popping out. The Lovers. Gemini energy. So connections could be highlighted in the rest of July. It doesn't necessarily have to be that this has, or rest of August. It doesn't necessarily have to mean, Pisces, that this is romantic. It could be. It could also be decisions as well, networking as it pertains to work, money, business, things of that nature. I also feel like something is kind of lingering in the air. I get this sense with the clouds between the two of them, right? The clouds here, I feel like there is something that is lingering, like a look is lingering. There's something about this. It's giving you some time to think on something here, Pisces. You can see the distance between them. I'm wondering if there might be an obstacle here. There's a simple question. There's a simple question, Pisces, and I feel like it lingers because it means something. That's the best way I can describe it here. It hints at a deeper interest. It's like, why did they want to know that, you know? So there's something about that here. I feel like somebody who has been distant from you might ask you a random question. But I do think decisions are highlighted at this time as well in the rest of July, or rest of August. I literally thought to myself, don't say the rest of July. And then I said the rest of July. Let's see, what else do we have here for you, Pisces? Eight of Swords is showing up. A little bit stuck in your head about something. Maybe you're worried about how am I going to make this happen? How am I going to do, you know, this or that? That kind of energy here with the Eight of Swords. Some of you might be wondering, like, how am I going to pull that off? I feel like you will. Some of you, it's almost like you're in a situation where you have big shoes to fill, or you're feeling that way anyhow. But I feel like you do pull it off here, Pisces. I feel like you manage. What else do we have? Okay. It's a Capricorn or an air sign here who might have you in your head. I feel like somebody has changed up on you here, Pisces. The Lovers. The Lovers, you know, going back to it, because that was your first card out. Like I said, I think connections are highlighted in the rest of August. I also feel like this could be any kind of connection, networking, friendships, love, whatever. Also decisions, decision making. But the Lovers can represent a turning point. I feel like somebody has chosen to go in a certain direction, and it's kind of throwing you off here a little bit. I feel like they're returning in the rest of August, but it just kind of seems like they're still holding back. It still seems like they're not even sure that they should have returned. So there's something about that here with this Eight of Swords that's really, really got you in your head in the rest of August here, Pisces. You've got this Nine of Wands. This person might have a Sag or a Gemini moon or Jupiter or rising in one of those signs. But, you know, Nine of Wands can be a card of persistence. It's wounded warrior energy. You can see the bandage on his head here. Maybe if it'll focus. Okay, but you can see the bandage on his head here. He's hurt, but he pushes through. He continues. So it feels like there's someone here who, gosh, Pisces, it's almost like they're going to reach out. I feel like somebody's going to reach out for most of you, but they're holding something back still. I feel like they are holding themselves back. For others of you, there's a person who is holding themselves back from reaching out to you, and it doesn't mean that they don't want to. So there's something about that here as well, where I feel like this change, this switch up is not necessarily what you think it is. What is this about? What is this about here? Three of Pentacles. This is teamwork, collaboration. Pisces, okay? What I'll say here, listen to me. I think that for some of you, this person might be involved with someone else. But if that's the case, I feel like some of you, you already know it here. You already know it. But the main thing actually isn't that person. You know, reading between the lines of this change that's going on, I'm actually seeing that this is not what you think it is. Because Three of Pentacles is telling me this person has other things to work on. It's not necessarily just leaving an individual behind. You know, because that's not going to be the case for all of you. Like this person, you know, for some of you might not even have anyone else, but they've got something that they need to work on that is very embarrassing for them. That's the energy that I get here. The Hangman, they may be feeling very, very stuck right now. Some of you, this is another Pisces. I get Capricorn, Leo, Sag, Gemini placements. So maybe they have Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Jupiter in one of those signs. But the energy just feels like they are feeling very stuck. And that's why they've switched up on you, is because they're realizing, oh crap, this is serious. I need to get to work. I need to figure things out, because as it stands, I don't feel good enough for Pisces. That's the energy that I get here. Somebody may feel like intimidated by you, honestly. What else do we have for Pisces? The King of Cups is showing up. We got Scorpio energy entering the chat now. So King of Cups too, I also feel like this has to do with you being vulnerable and expressive, Pisces. Somebody actually likes that about you. And it's interesting because for some, maybe this is something that got you criticized in the past, or maybe people might have found your sensitivity annoying, or, you know, overbearing, or whatever the case may be. But somebody might actually find this cute, sweet, endearing. Pisces, somebody really likes you. And I just want to say I absolutely hate this reading for those of you where it's not for you, because I don't want to feed any kind of delusion. But for those of you where you're like, I know that they feel it, you know, I don't understand why the change happened. I feel like you're going to know that it's for you, Pisces, please. And I'm a Pisces too, so I could say this. Please, let's balance our logic and our emotion just for a second here, okay? Because don't make this for you if it's not. Please, for the love of God, don't. You know, because I think that you'll know if it's not. But you could say, well, it could fit, you know, right? You could say that. But for a lot of you, I feel like this is wildly specific. Like if you are if you've been dealing with somebody, Pisces, who seems to be pretty much healed, they seem to, you know, have a good job, have their finances in order, they have a good relationship with their friends, with their family, you know, like this is somebody who knows themselves, has hobbies, they're, you know, healthy in the mind, right? I feel like this isn't someone who's thinking, oh my goodness, I'm not good enough for Pisces. This feels like somebody you connected with on an emotional level, but as it pertains to stability and other things, it's not right. There's a lot going on there, and you probably already know that to some degree, but there are things that you may not know. Maybe they're getting support that they don't want, you know, that they don't really want to share that. Maybe it has to do with an embarrassing living situation. There's something about that here, Pisces, that I feel this person wants to get in order before they come towards you. So the reason that I highlighted those differences there is because I want those of you to know who are dealing with somebody who just maybe has lost, like that person has lost interest, right? Maybe you're just not their cup of tea, and that's okay, right? So I don't want you to feel like you have to make this fit if that's you. But if you are dealing with someone who you know for a fact, like something is wrong there, something is missing, you know, I know they felt it, so why did they disappear? Why did they go away? Then this is probably for you, okay? So that's what I'm seeing here for you, Pisces. I hope that this was helpful or fun or whatever you needed it to be. I actually do have personals open right now, but there's a catch. I am going to be out of town, so there is a 7 business day turnaround time. But the readings are 3-question video readings. It's $33.33. You get it within 7 business days. Everything's down below. Take it or leave it, Pisces. It's totally up to you, but the option is there, okay? If this is where we part, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.